practitioner. You can learn more about my sound bowls at thespiritedsoul.org. And I'm just going to play a little mini sound bath for everybody today. So if you feel called, close your eyes. Just take a couple nice deep breaths in and I'll get started.
Wow, that was gorgeous. Oh, Yvonne, it brought it up. Oh, Miss Chris Blum is one of our leadership ministers, and she is such a gifted healer and channel. And when she does those singing bowls, it just brings you to life. And I'm so happy that she was able to create that for us and share that with us on our for our Sunday service. So thank you, Chris. Hi, Yvonne, honey.
Good morning, Ingrid, darling.
Darling, it's so nice to have you on here because I just adore you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm glad to be here.
We are going to have such a powwow. We got a great message today. I know when I tuned in and channeled this message early this morning, my whole body just went, okay. So that was, to me, was like, yes, we're dialed in. So real quick, before we dive into that though, let me introduce the Bhava Spiritual Mission, and then we can introduce ourselves, tell people kind of like what we're about. So if you're new to us and this broadcast, the Bhava Spiritual Mission is a church. We're primarily a digital church, although we're doing more and more in-person stuff as we kind of ease into this new paradigm. It gets a little easier for us. But we are here to help you connect directly with the infinite, to help you become that direct line of communication with Holy Spirit, with God consciousness, source energy, whatever you call it. It's all the same stuff we're talking about, right? So we do that through the Sunday broadcasts, through one-on-one service to people, through our Sunday services and our Tuesday services in Nevada City. And, you know, at this point, at this crux in our world, on our planet, we really feel committed to helping us all move from fear to love. From fear to love. So every day we get up and commit to that individually in our community, and we show up and to be of service to others in that way. We also have a school. It's a ministry program, and it is designed to help people who feel that they have spiritual gifts and something to share with the world, to get in, dig deep, find and hone in on those gifts, do the clearing work that they need to do to show up and be a light for divine spirit and bring those gifts out into the world. So I'm Ingrid Turner. I founded the Bhava Mission and I run the school and I do various other things because hats galore. So go into that. And this is sweet Yvonne. Yvonne is not only a leadership minister with the Bhava Spiritual Mission, she is one of the pillars of our community and the pillars of our organization. She is my right-hand lady when it comes to steering this ship and moving us in the direction we need to go. Yvonne, why don't you take a minute and introduce yourself properly?
God, I just love that introduction so much. I'm Yvonne Marie. I started working with Ingrid about 3 years ago when my life was shifting dramatically. And it's been the most beautiful experience. The community it's everything you could want in an intentional community. Everybody shows up in love and gratitude and all comes together. We all come together to celebrate the joy of spirit. I'm here in Nevada City, which is right next door to Ingrid. It's where we have our services. It's just a beautiful experience. I'm glad you're all here to join us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we do this every Sunday, same time, same place, different players every week because we mix up the community because we have a really rich and awesome community with all kinds of different walks of life.
Great.
Yeah, so fun. So today, here's what we're going to do today. We had our little sound bath with Miss Chris Blum. Thank you so much for that again, darling. And we're going to go into today's message. So the way that we do this, we play off of each other in Bhava is I sort of lead the charge by tuning in and downloading the message from Spirit. And then I share that with the people who are slated to be on our panel, or if it's a one-on-one discussion like today, depending on people's availability. And then you get to expand on that message, and we expand on the message from Spirit and the meaning from Spirit. And in addition, what's really important and dynamic about these broadcasts is we want you to join in the conversation. That's really important to us. So as you're listening to today's message and you're listening to our conversation, as we expand on this message and make it clearer and sort of bigger and more expansive, we want you to feel free to leave a comment on this video, comment any pings you get, any downloads, any impressions, comment your questions or life experiences. We want to bring you on and make you part of the discussion. And I'm going to use my patchwork quilt analogy again. And if somebody gives me another analogy, I'll use that because this is getting a little bit old, but it's really like we all have a piece of the patchwork quilt where none of us are here to understand the totality of creation. We're having a human experience. That's what we're here for. So when we tune into Spirit, Spirit uses our experiences, our perceptions to give us what we need to understand. And then when I get that piece and I pass it off to Yvonne, she's going to stitch her own square onto that. And so she's going to give us an expanded understanding of the message from Spirit and what Spirit has for us. And you guys are doing that for us as well. So please do leave a comment. We really encourage that. We want to build this discussion and make it amazing for all of us because we're all getting so much out of this experience today. Anything to add to that, sweet Yvonne?
You're absolutely right. I mean, every little piece to that patchwork quilt just enriches the whole experience. It's pretty juicy how we come in with our different opinions and our different experiences and make it a mosaic.
Yeah, with this incredible thread of same for everybody. There's always a thread in there that's like it's the same message, different packaging. And that's why we're all needed. That's why if you feel like you have a spiritual message, a spiritual gift or goal in this lifetime, stepping up and embodying that is so important because people need your lens for the divine spirit.
It's funny. I just got this whole hit of Lost in Translation. There's something about the work we do, the way we show up in integrity for Spirit, to share those messages with the world. The way I think we do it, the way I believe that we come across is so intentional that there really isn't anything to lose in that translation. Mm-hmm. It is always stepping out of fear and into love, out of fear and into love. What's there to lose in that translation?
What's there to lose? You're beautiful. On that note, we're going to dive into today's message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground us in because grounding is really important. Because when I'm opening up to Spirit and Yvonne is opening up to Spirit, we are all opening up to Spirit. Everybody who is watching this broadcast live or on the replay. So I want to encourage you to ground in with us. And the reason this is so important is we are earth beings, okay? I don't care if it's your first time here, you lovely star seeds, or if you've just been, running the gamut for a while, we are all earth beings. And when we match our energy to Mother Earth, which is what grounding does for us, we open up to spirit in a way that is much more intentional and practical. And practicality is important, even in our spirit work. It really is. We need to be able to bring through the message and practically apply it to our life so we can change ourselves and change the world and dive into the expansion on this planet. So I'm fanatical about grounding. Ask any of my students. We do it all the time. So we're going to do it again. And then I'm going to go ahead and read the message that I dictated from my spirit guide. His name is Mons. And then I'm going to bounce it over to Yvonne and we're going to powwow. So feel into it. Close your eyes with me. Let the message sink into your whole being. I don't want you to worry too much. It's 11:11. I love it. I don't want you to worry too much about recalling every word you hear. Just let the energy, let the message sink in, and trust that you're going to be able to recall what you need to recall when you need to recall it. That's the way spirit works. One of our besties, Lou Martin, says, spirit is efficient, and no truer words, right? No truer words. Okay, without further ado, let's all just close our eyes for just a few minutes. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel your energy pool in your root chakra. And maybe it'll feel warm or tingly, or you'll just be aware that it's happening. Take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect to divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core and take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pull again in the root chakra and exhale into your root chakra. And I'd like you all who are listening today to intentionally open up your aura to receive the message from Holy Spirit today. I want to thank you for trusting me to be the conduit, for trusting Yvonne to be the conduit for divine spirit and divine healing and divine love. Open your aura and allow spirit in. You can go ahead and keep your eyes closed if you'd like. Today's message: let go. Let everything go. We don't even mean in the physical sense. We mean your attachment to absolutely everything. Recognize, remind yourself that absolutely nothing is here to stop you and absolutely everything is here to serve you. Remember in your heart of hearts that when you stop fighting what is, the whole of creation moves through you in an epic, mystical dance that truly enlivens the whole world through you. Practice the flow of what is today. Practice it with your breath. Watch your body, be in your body. Breath is spirit, and spirit moves through you at every moment of your life. Be in the flow by allowing yourself full presence with your emotions. Fight no feelings. Allow them to well inside you like a great wave, crest in divine union, and break apart in nourishing droplets. Practice this flow as you move your body today. Whether you're washing dishes, walking across the room, smiling at another human, make each movement its own graceful concerto, a build of slowness and intention. Be simple in flow practices today. It brings you more fully into the present, and it will assist you in releasing your mental grip on what is occurring in your life experience. Once that grip is released, the divine flow gushes through you, and that, my darling, is everything you have ever wanted. Attachment is suffering, but everything in your experience, in presence, in flow, is ecstasy. Every human is designed as a vessel for the divine all. You make yourselves just a tiny point when you attach yourselves to any experience. Release your mind through intentional movement, slowing your being, and watching how your world expands today in the most delightful of ways. So I'll take a deep breath. Let that sink in. All right, that's what's been crashing through me today. Tell you the relief that went through my whole body was pretty fantastic. That bring up for you, Yvonne?
Oh man, so much. You know me very well. You know that my thoughts used to be rapid and paralyzing. And it kind of reminded me of, we've talked about you can't change the flow of a river by throwing pebbles. And those pebbles are just, they're self-effacing thoughts. They're thoughts that don't serve us. And we're sitting there, change. You know, change, go. I don't want it this way. More pebbles. And every time we do that, we separate ourselves from ourselves, from understanding who we are, from understanding other people. And I also feel like we separate ourselves from the divine within that connects us to divine source. That message hit me hard and fast because I have been paralyzed by those thoughts before. I think we all have. And there's something very divine about actually doing your dishes while you're doing your dishes. Watching the water, feeling the soap, other than washing the dishes and remembering that you have to do this and you have to do that. And all these mindless little things that keep you outside of your experience.
Absolutely.
That's it just hit me hard. One of the things I wrote down as you were talking, I'm sure you saw me furiously taking notes, or maybe you didn't.
I heard the paper rattling.
It's just, I'm writing what I'm being told to write. The whole thing began with, when you first started talking, I saw Abraham Lincoln and Queen Elizabeth's ruff, like her frill collar. I have no idea what that means, but it's sort of like that down to earth. Yes, we can do. Sort of with that, bringing off that pomp and circumstances of it.
Yeah.
You know,
don't take yourself so seriously.
Exactly. Don't take yourself so seriously. Like not the most stellar human being in life, but we know he did some amazing things. He became a president. He wasn't even a lawyer. He had never worked in politics. You know, he was a self-taught man. And I think that's kind of what we're doing right now, is teaching ourselves how to be in alignment in this new paradigm. Teaching ourselves what's real for us. Finding our truth. Instead of sitting there by the edge of a stream, which could be, standing in front of your sink of the dishes and saying, I want it to change now. I don't want this.
Up the nozzle, please.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that the incredible visual that I got from this that felt really powerful, especially for people who are committed to being of service in some way during this time for the divine, is when we have attachment, this sort of mental obsessive spinny thoughts, and it doesn't even have to be about anything negative going on. It could be about something we perceive as positive, but it's like we have to hang on to this in any way. It's the image I got, like I tried to write it down and describe it as best I could, but we are this divine vessel. The divine wants to flow through every human. We make ourselves this tiny little, I don't know, like it's just this little hole, just a little thing they can get through, right? And I just saw this opening up where it's just this gushing of Holy Spirit, and it just looks like water, flow, this gushing that coming out. And I really liked that the practical way it came through. Like, here's how you get out of your head is you get into your body and get present in your body. And I kept seeing dancing. I don't know if anybody's like got dance experience, but as a dancer, you know, I can remember being taught how to be graceful when I was a little girl in my moves. You know, like the way that you move your arm. You don't go like that. It's like you flow, you make it slow, and it's like has a trail to it. So that felt really powerful, and coming into presence felt really powerful, and the way to release attachment by coming into presence. Really yummy.
Well, what you just said about the movement, that to me is more of it's sort of like the same washing dishes.
Yeah.
Instead of just booking from one space to the other, instead of just getting that arm up to where you need it to go, you take the time to slowly extend, to see the beauty of the movement, to see the beauty of yourself, the grace in this divine vessel that we've been given to hold spirit. I mean, when we do these things with intention, I think I've told you this story before, and I hope the viewers out there don't think I'm making this up, because there's no way we can make this stuff up.
No, we can't make this stuff up.
No, we were talking about quantum physics. I was talking about quantum physics with someone, and I very much understood that, you know, if you take all the humans in the world and reduce all the space in between them, the actual matter is minuscule. And so I'm standing there at the sink and thinking about that. And I realized all of a sudden, well, if that's the case, water should be able to go right through my hand. Right. And I'm washing the dishes, and all of a sudden the feeling feels different. And I look, and the water's going right through my hand. And the second I went, what? It stopped. And
that's powerful, because
that's the power of the mind. That's the power of spirit. Yeah.
That's the power of getting out of expectation and getting out of attachment. Is for one moment, 1 second, lost your grip on reality. You're
totally.
And then matter changed, matter shifted. You opened up completely and totally in a very physical sense. Yeah, that's really powerful.
It was very powerful to me, and it's something that stays with me now. You know what I've been through recently. I've had some very serious health issues, and more predicted, more that were showing up. And all of a sudden I went, no, thank you. I don't want this. Yeah. And guess what happened? Gone. I mean, that thing was gone. And my body healed itself. It healed that. I stopped believing that any of that was true. And it's no longer true. There's a great deal of power in getting up and stepping away with that pile of pebbles you've been throwing, and just leaving that pile and saying, no, thank you. I don't need to make that river. I am the river.
Right. You know what I want to talk about? You're bringing up something for me is there's a difference between refusing to acknowledge what is and being in true non-attachment. Non-attachment is 1000% acceptance of what is. And if I could just speak a little bit to your experience of what I saw with your experience recently with your stuff, if you don't mind.
No, go for it.
What I saw you as you were given information that had the potential to be devastating to you about your body. What I watched you do was receive it, allow it to hit you. And then I watched you just go, okay. And I didn't see you fight it. I saw you go, okay, get into complete acceptance of it, and then change reality, make matter different, manipulate matter. And just not because I didn't even see you want to get better. You know what I mean? I didn't see any of that. I just saw this complete acceptance, this radical acceptance of what was. And it only took a moment. It's not like you lived there the whole time. I saw you just get to that place of total acceptance. And that moment of total acceptance was enough to expand your experience exponentially and completely transform it. And that's really important, is we can get really caught up in not being good enough and not staying permanently in a place of acceptance and not attachment and total like spiritual awesomeness. Well, guess what? We're humans. We're having a human experience, but it literally takes a nanosecond, nanosecond of coming into that place of complete acceptance of what is for you to open to the divine flow and have it gush through you.
Absolutely.
And that's why our meditation practice is so important. Not because we need to become, or our spiritual practice, not because we need to become the best meditators and do it for like 2 hours a day. Like, no, a nanosecond, giving yourself that intentional space to go in, to be in total acceptance and presence with what is, boom, everything opens up.
Absolutely.
A lot of beating ourselves up about not being good enough, not being good little spiritual children. It's like, you know, it does require vigilance. It does require commitment to make these massive changes and to open up and be a vessel. But what it does not require is self-judgment and flagellation and
oh my gosh, no.
of yourself or other people. Because if everything is happening in the present moment, then all we need is the nanosecond of the present moment. Boom, is done.
Absolutely. I think that's staying in presence. I mean, I honestly believe that I went from a kidney crisis, you know, straight to, they thought that I was going to have chronic kidney disease, and my numbers were tanking fast. But I just took the whole thing in my own hands, and I'm not going to participate in that. No, thank you.
Thank you.
And I stayed in presence. Every time my mind started to wander into a story, into fear, nope, we're not doing that. We're back here. You're here. Yes. I kept hearing Ram Dass say, "Be here now, be here now, be here now."
Yeah. So it's not hard. What we're talking about is hard. It's not hard. It takes commitment. That's the hardest thing humans ever do, is commit. Anything. We just have to commit. And when you commit to yourself, to your path, to your spirit, to your healing, the doors open for you. And all you have to do is walk through. Just keep walking through. Now I'm walking through this door, and I'm back in presence, and I'm here now, because it's going to want to do that. And that's okay.
Exactly.
Just, oh yeah, I'm coming back. Is the hard part.
Then one of the other things I found to be very interesting, I watch people. You know, I love watching people. It's like one of my favorite hobbies. Watching people in their self-consciousness, watching what they do, watching how they carry themselves. That to me is fascinating, because there's a whole language in there, and it's almost indicative of what's going on in our whole global arena, is the way people think they're engaging with the world and the way an observer sees them engage. It's taught me so much about spirit, and how much many people are very disconnected from their inner divine selves, because they're so caught up in what's not going on out here. It's all this illusion built up in our heads to keep us conditioned, like the boy in our own little bubble. You know?
I love that. We're caught up in what's not going on out here.
Exactly.
That's insanity.
I watch that all the time.
Oh my God. I love that.
All the time. And
that just felt like a stake in the ground for me, Yvonne. Like, boom. Yes, that's it.
It's fascinating to watch.
But when you focus in on the presence, oh my God, life becomes rich and meaningful in a way beyond our wildest dreams, because the divine flows through us. And when the divine is flowing through us, we're guided to where we need to go for our, not only to be of service to others, but for our own incredible fulfillment. Incredible fulfillment. I guess that's why they say, like, if you want to be happy, serve others. But I feel like it's not a 1-2. It happens at the same time.
And also, I think that serving others, you have to, there's a fine line between serving others and
martyrdom.
Well, that and seeking the good feelings, seeking the strokes of
validation.
Oh, thank you so much. That validation. Exactly. Yes. I need to do good for other people so they'll validate how great I am.
Yeah, good point.
Because I can't feel my own inner authority. I can't feel my own inner juicy goodness. So I'm going to do good for other people, and then they'll tell me how great I am.
Right. And you get that hit of validation, makes you feel like a good person for a hot minute, but it goes away very quickly.
Well, it's like a drug. So you can keep doing that. You can keep allowing your energy to spill all over the place and then go home exhausted because you've been trying to help everyone else to make yourself feel good about you.
Yeah, that's not a win.
That's a lose-lose to me. It really is. It's exhausting. Your energy drains out all over the place. And I don't know that you're connecting with spirit. It sounds to me like you're
That's an ego story.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And that, you know what, the mind and the ego, I think, are pretty much synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
I feel. It feels like the ego, the mind is like our human experience.
Yes.
It's very much the human experience. It's not bad, but it's unruly.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The ego, the mind is absolutely in service to the divine, because the divine is coming through us in this physical experience to experience the physical.
Mm-hmm.
We are the physical vessel to give the divine the gift of experiencing the physical. And our ego and our mind are very much a part of that. It's when the ego mind is running the show or trying to figure things out or obsessing or just like coming down this tiny little point. It's amazing to be able to move that aside, not to destroy it. We don't want to destroy the ego. We've all got ego. And it serves us and it undermines us, and it's both throughout our whole life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you destroy the ego, you're out of a body. Like that's just the way it is. But to move apart the ego by coming into presence, having the divine flow through you, and then your ego comes to support the movement of that divine flow. It's like it gets us into action. The divine flow, the pull, the intention, the tug, the this direction, this way. And the ego's like, yeah, I'm going to go get it done because I'm good enough for that.
Right.
It feels like how they work in tandem like that.
I agree. I think there's a lot of us, and I'm going to pull myself out of that category. There's a lot of people who really are so unaware of who they are at their core because they've been masking according to whatever influences they see, magazines. How long has Cosmopolitan been telling us that we need to do something different with sex? Women, do this. Oh my.
Get your man happy or whatever. Yeah.
I'm almost 60 years old. I remember saying that when I was 12. So they've been telling us we can't do this forever. To get away from that kind of ego nonsense that takes us outside of spirit and puts us even farther into our head, into that I can't fit into society. I can't fit into here. I'm not good enough. I think that's the part that really I find concerning, because I see a lot of that in people. It's beautiful when you can show up and be a mirror and show people, hey, that's a story. Follow me for a little bit. Let's just watch this. Come back to presence. Watch the sunset. Did you see that leaf? That was amazing.
Yeah.
And it changes lives. It really does change lives when you get out of that ego stories.
Yeah.
And you come.
Yeah, it does. And what comes into the word that comes up really strongly right now is curiosity.
Yes.
Curiosity pops you right out of your ego. The ego is, it doesn't pop you out of your ego. It pops you out of your ego attachment. I'm feeling like really, in Bhava, we're very conscious of our language. Like we're like changing up words. What do we just use our experiences or gifts? I think, I'm not sure. Anyway, so we're very intentional about our language. And so when we talk about the ego and the negative aspects of just the ego, I feel like that gives the impression that the ego is like wrong and we need to destroy it. And that's never the message from me, never, ever. But our ego attachments are a problem. We want our ego to be working for us and moving us forward in a powerful way. I mean, your ego is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's what gets you going. I do have gifts. I have a spiritual purpose. I want to help people. I want to be of service to other people. If we didn't have the ego driving us, we wouldn't be doing anything. We wouldn't be here.
Right.
He's just like sloth in bed all day. Although we were just talking. Turns out you can't do a lot from bed, as we were mentioning earlier.
You can do a lot from bed.
But there was something, so ego attachment. So when the ego is attached to something, the ego is in crisis. It's terrified. It's scared. It's needing to hang on to something so that it has some like purpose, existence, something that feels like secure and safe and physical. Right. And spirit is like, it come, it go. It go, and the ego's like, but if it goes, it might not come. Nothing might come. And that's the ego attachment that we're talking about. So circling back around to curiosity, getting curious. We have our ego. We always have our ego, but curiosity bumps us out of that ego attachment because suddenly we stop taking our BS personally.
Right. Boom.
Don't BS personally. We all got it. We all suck. We're all. Don't take your BS personally. When you see it, get curious about it. Get intentional. Get slow with it. Spirit was really talking about the body and getting into your body. That's really great. But we can do this with our mental capacity too, by getting curious.
You know how you see kids? You get to the park, and they get so excited. They run straight to the jungle gym.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more people set out like children just to follow their curiosity.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to make a commitment to do that all week. I'm going to follow my curiosity. I'm going to bounce out of my ego attachments by following my curiosity and moving my body very intentionally. I'm going to be a dancer again this week.
Do it. You know my story with the curiosity, but I'm going to tell it again for all the people who haven't heard it.
Tell it.
So one day shortly after I had my spiritual awakening, I got dressed, I got ready to go to town, and I left the house with no direction, no idea of what was going to happen. My only goal was to follow my curiosity. So I wasn't inside my head. I was just following whatever felt interesting, walking around our small town, which there's a great deal to find interesting.
Sure.
There's little hidden things everywhere. As soon as I pulled into town and I parked right behind a truck that had a trailer that said, "Follow your curiosity" on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was you can't make this up. And I parked behind that and ended up having one of the best days ever. It was just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I followed my curiosity. I met a couple that do spiritual healing. I ended up with spiritual healer giving me a sound healing session at my house a couple weeks later. It was just magical. And all I did was set out like a child to go to that playground in the world and not be in my head, just follow my curiosity.
I love that so much. Yeah, I'm committed to that this week. I want to know if anybody else is committed to the curiosity thing. Let's just do that. Let's just take a week.
I'm totally committed. Yeah, it's good.
Go back to how we were doing it before.
Exactly.
We have some good comments here that I want to pop on and use for fodder for our discussion. With the span of the patchwork quilt that we're playing with. And I want to remind you, if you're listening, if you're joining in, feel free to leave a comment, to give us your download, to give us your experience, to ask your questions. We want to bring you on stage with us, so to speak, by bringing your comments up and talking to you, and you help everybody expand this message. So Angelina, beautiful Angelina, she's got a question. Been particularly emotional lately. Some due to medication reduction, but I know some is to do with astronomy or the collective. What's going on at the moment? I like she said at the movement. I think that was a typo, but that's awesome. At the movement in these areas.
I like it both ways.
I like it both ways. We want to take that one, Yvonne?
Well, it's a time. It's a real time.
Sister.
We just stepped out of, I believe it was Mercury in retrograde, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like it's a new time. There's been a great deal of stress, world politics-wise. And I think a lot of people are feeling in transition and having a hard time. I think a lot of people are having, I keep hearing shadows in the closet. They're coming out. It's just these things that have been kind of tucked way down. They're all coming up, and I think they're coming up for healing. And as we know, that's fasten your seatbelts, put your own oxygen mask on first, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Turbulent.
Exactly. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to feel messy. And one of the things that I've found to be true for me, it may not be true for others, is that if I observe myself, put a little bit of distance, and observe myself and see what it is I'm really reacting to. Quite often I'm reacting to something that's not mine, not here, not present. It's a feeling in the past. It's an echo, like a residue of other things. And they're just kind of overlaying. And I feel like our vision of what's really going on, our feeling of what's really going on is shrouded by fear, and our faith tends to slip a little bit. It seems like we have to be very intentional about what's real, what's really ours, what's fear, and just coming back to that little seed, like they say, mustard seed. Coming back to that
mustard seed, nanosecond, pinpoint. It's very, very just boom into it right there, just for a moment. Yeah, well said, Yvonne. And I'll just add to this, Angelina, and Yvonne, you touched on this too. The whole world is waking up. Whole world is having spiritual awakening. And anybody who's had awakenings in their life or major personal transformations knows that everything falls apart. Everything. And so we're dealing with that as a collective, and we're also dealing with that as individuals because we are in a new earth, a new energy, a new paradigm. A golden age of love has arrived on this planet. And now we're in utter chaos because everything that is not a match for that is getting shaken off and shaken loose. And that goes with what's in our hearts too. And that can show up as really intense emotions. Okay. Anger, grief, blame, fear, all the things, that we have a hard time being present with are going to come up because our hearts are all expanding, because our hearts have to expand to line up with this new energy. And so it's going to be a time for us for a while. And that's okay. Bringing it back to presence, like Spirit said in the message, which I'll read before we wrap up again. One of the ways that you get into flow and get out of attachment is to be super present with your emotions. And that can be really hard for a lot of people because we don't want to. We don't want to feel the thing. It feels like it's going to kill us, or at least that's what our ego are telling us. Like, we're going to die if we feel the thing. So we run and run and run and run, but we don't get present with it. But once we get present with our emotions, whoom, the divine flow opens up. The thing I want to share too is every emotional experience, at the bottom of every truly pure emotional experience without the mental stories, at the bottom of that experience is ecstasy. That is a divine experience. We are having divine experience after divine experience. So showing up fully for your grief, showing up fully for your anger, if you can sit with that and sink into it and stay out of your mental stories, stay out of your attachment, and simply be so present with what is, at the bottom of that experience, you're going to find nirvana. It's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Angelina, you're very sensitive and you're going to be feeling this really strongly. And it's because you're opening up to the new energies, because you're meant to be here and you're meant to show up for something bigger than yourself, to be of service in some way. So thank you.
I agree. The other thing I got when I was reading Angelina's question was authenticity. Authenticity is so key right now. And I immediately thought of the Kardashians, which...
Odd. Is it? I don't know. I actually don't know anything about this.
Forgive me. But there's so many people who went on to that, they attached to that as the holy grail of how to look for a while. Back in the 70s, we had Cheryl Tiegs and Farrah Fawcett. That was the look, and they were striving to look like that. And now we had that Kardashian, we all want to look like that. We're getting our butts injected. That's such a crock. It takes us so far out of authenticity. It creates all of this chaos. And what I'm being shown is that authenticity is key right now. If you're someone who wants to cut Betty Page bangs and dye your hair blue, do it. Do it. Show up in My Little Pony rainbow hair if you want to. Be you, because that whole conformity of, I don't know, they've been trying to put women into, 5-yard skirts since the 50s. That's not ours.
Yeah.
That's not ours. You should find out who you are, play with it. And authenticity is so important in this new paradigm.
We've never been in a better time to play with our authenticity. I mean, I really see this showing up in the way that people are really free to explore their gender fluidity and their sexuality. The way people are it's like, I've never seen it so like feeling like this before. And I celebrate that because it's like we're oh gosh, where's my train of thought? Come back. The fluidity, the authenticity, the raw, the just showing up so fully as you are is the most beautiful thing. And the masculine and feminine energies, the way that they are coming together in mystical union, I think is really showing up so strongly for us in the people who are born to experience and express that fluidity. Like they're really showing us a new way of being, all of us, a new way of being in our body, in our hearts, by showing up so authentically in the fluidity of these energies.
Absolutely. And it's changed so rapidly. I was born in the 60s, and I remember in San Francisco, I remember that ladies did not cross Market Street. You did not go south of Market unless you were going to Emporium. It was completely considered inappropriate for ladies to cross Market Street. And the contrast between that and a service I went to, a Unitarian church, and a young girl got up and she said, I just want to tell you all that I'm coming out as pansexual. She was 16 years old.
Go girl.
I had to go home and Google what pansexual was. And then when I read that, I was just, boom, yes. Woo! I love that child. Me too. Can I be pansexual too?
Folks need to Google pansexual, right?
I know. It was
The first time I heard the term too, I was like, huh? What? Hang on.
that contrast in that, how many years?
Yes.
55 years.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Imagine what it's going to be like in the next 50 years. Well, Spirit told me, I'll just share this. Spirit told me that in the next 50 years, we are going to move back to nature and integrate technology in a benevolent way. And it felt really like sweet and nurturing for Earth and nurturing for us and expansive. It's like taking the best of our natural habitat and our natural space, connecting it with our innovation. It just felt like this benevolent union of nature and technology, which feels really exciting to me because I like technology. I'm not an anti-tech person. I'm not like, technology's bad. I'm like, I think it's pretty cool. But I can, of course, you can see where it goes awry when it's not used in service to our natural world.
Yeah, I agree. I just need a 5-year-old in my pocket to help me with technology. Show me how to do this.
Oh, that's great. So we have something, Lena, our beautiful Lena. So Lena is one of our newest Bhava babes, and we just love her.
Oh my God, she's juicy and gorgeous. I love her.
So juicy, so powerful. Just, oh my God, we just adore you, Lena. But she has this great comment that has popped up and it made me really excited. The way I've been trying to work with my ego is viewing my body as the vehicle. The ego isn't the best driver because it's nervous and reactive and fearful. So I have to pull over and let my higher self drive. The ego can be a good navigator and show us where we need to go as long as it's not driving. Yeah.
Bravo, Lena.
Yeah. No, what I really like is the analogy about the vehicle and the ego is one that we use a lot. I like what she said. The ego can be a good navigator. And that's what we're saying is it's like the spirit flows and then the ego comes up and navigates for you and pulls you out to where you need to go. I think that's really powerful. I talk about putting the ego in a 5-point harness in the backseat. Yeah, unruly. Stop it. I got to keep you safe.
Exactly.
That's a great analogy. That really
is
cool.
Yeah. I just love her. I mean, she's not the newest Bhava babe.
No, she's one of the newest Bhava babes.
I know, but I'm just saying.
There's
something so old soul about her that, bam, she's on fire. I love it.
I got it. Okay, I just
yeah.
Is it?
No, it feels like she's been here for a very long time. She's just got that old soul energy. Yeah, she's very grounded. I love her dearly.
I want to talk about old soul, new soul concept.
Let's talk about that
thing. Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like the term old soul, when you say somebody's an old soul, I feel like that's like a spiritual ego stroke.
Yeah.
Or like you're a new soul. Like that's such a spiritual.
I've never heard that you're a new soul.
Oh, I've heard that.
Somebody said
that to me one time. It was like, okay, but here's the thing. No. Somebody said I was a medium soul or something like that. I was like, anyway, but it's like, it's this hierarchy. You know how I feel about hierarchy and like linear thinking.
Yeah.
And like, wait a minute. Time is not a thing. Okay. So if time is not a thing and we are only experiencing linear time in this physical reality, what the hell does that have to do with soul age? And how can souls have an age? If everything bursts into existence at the same time or has always been, how can one person be an old soul, one person be a new soul? It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're like, I'm like, right. But we can be the way that's when I asked this question to Spirit, I was like, really? Okay, what is this nonsense? Spirit came in and said that every experience, everything is happening at the same time. Okay, so you and I are having this conversation in this like droplet of reality. At the same time, in another droplet of reality, we're having the same conversation, but it's going slightly differently. So we're having slightly different experiences. So it's the multiverse, right? And everything's happening at the same time. So in every experience, you know, Lena is here in this experience, showing up in our Bhava community with this old soul vibe. And we're just like, wow, that's amazing. In some other experience, she's showing up really differently. And we're all like, she's kind of a new soul. But we're having the experience, every possible permutation of experience at the same time. And then, our mind is going old soul, new soul, old soul, new soul. It says because linear time. And it's like, no, linear time is not a thing. So there's no age to souls, but we are having the experience of newness or inexperience or experienced or wisdom or naivety, all happening at the same time.
That's funny that you said that, because what I got when you were saying that was that sometimes all those beings, all of our linear, different droplet beings overlay.
Yeah. Oh, totally. We dimension slip all the time.
Yep.
Boop, 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 which when that's coming back to presence, back to the divine flow. And that is how you change matter fundamentally.
Yes.
You just move into a different vibration, which is a different dimension entirely. Ian Cran knows a lot about this. He did some cool stuff about vibration in 4D and 5D. And I'm going to have to get him on here one of these days to talk.
Yes, I want to hear that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, when I was a kid, growing up in San Francisco, and my mom and dad worked at this big Safeway store on Market Street, which was center of, was the hub of a lot of action. And I heard that over and over when I was a child. Oh, she's an old soul. Oh, she's an old soul. Now in retrospect, I think it was, she's a tired kid who's very precocious in knowledge.
Oh man.
But I was a very precocious kid, and I could speak like 5 different languages, like lightly speak 5 different languages when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah. Wow.
But I think that's just, it's interesting, that whole old soul, new soul hierarchy, and how we try to make sense of things with our egos. And it's just another story.
Another story. Stories they're rampant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's also a whole show about that called Fringe.
Fringe?
Yeah, it's a science fiction show, and they show the different worlds and how,
Netflix?
It's an old show. It's like maybe 10, 12 years old, so you'd have to Google where it is. But
okay, Fringe.
I've already watched it like season to season, the whole thing at least twice.
I'm up for a new sci-fi show.
It's so good. I love it.
Okay, cool.
I love it.
Well, Darlene, how do you feel? I feel pretty complete. I feel like we have covered a lot of ground and had some good conversations here.
Me too.
Let me do this.
Okay.
Let me read the message one more time.
Yes, let's do it.
So that we can sync it again. Because what I've found is when we read that, we hear the message and then we feel into it and we talk about it and then we hear it again, we get a whole new, layer of it, which is really powerful, because that's just the way spirit works. And then I like to make a couple of announcements, and we have a performance by a song by Robin Harp called Bhava Means Love that I want everybody to listen to, because I love it. And it's amazing because we finally have a Bhava song. Finally, she says, we have a Bhava song. So let's do this. Let me read the message one more time for everybody. So take a deep breath, reground in, sort of send that grounding cord down to the earth. Here's the message. Let go. Let everything go. We don't even mean in the physical sense. We mean your attachment to absolutely everything. Recognize, remind yourself that absolutely nothing is here to stop you, and absolutely everything is here to serve you. Remember in your heart of hearts that you stop fighting what is. The whole of creation moves through you in an epic, mystical dance that truly enlivens the whole world through you. Practice the flow of what is today. Practice it with your breath. Watch your body. Be in your body. Breath is spirit, and spirit moves through you at every moment of your life. Be in the flow by allowing yourself full presence in your emotions. Fight no feelings. Allow them to well inside you like a great wave, and in divine union, crest in divine union, and break apart as nourishing droplets. Practice this flow as you move your body today. Whether you are washing dishes, walking across the room, smiling at another human, make each movement its own graceful concerto, a build of slowness and intention. Be simple in flow practices today. It brings you more fully into the present, and it will assist you in releasing your mental grip on what is occurring in your life experience. Once that grip is released, the divine flow gushes through you. And that, my darling, is everything you have ever wanted. Attachment is suffering, but everything in your experience, in presence, in flow is ecstasy. Every human is designed as a vessel for the divine all. You make yourselves just a tiny point when you attach yourselves to any experience. Release your mind through intentional movement, slowing your being, and watch how your world expands today in the most delightful of ways. Holy moly. I am so grateful to be a messenger for divine spirit. To have
That was so good.
Flow through my being is the greatest gift I can possibly imagine. I'm so grateful and so blessed in a non-attached way for life, for this beautiful life. So let's talk a little bit about what we got going on. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for jumping on and listening to us and diving in and contributing to the conversation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you found this broadcast valuable, give us a like, a love, share it out, subscribe on YouTube. It would be super awesome if you would do this, if you would share this broadcast with whoever you feel could be a benefit to this. So thank you so very much. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. And this is our purpose, our life, our destiny. It's our love. It's what we are here to do. If you would like to support the Bhava Spiritual Mission and our endeavors of bringing spirit out to the collective, of helping people move from fear to love and showing up authentically and channeling divine spirit, you can donate to the Bhava Spiritual Mission. We are a church, so your donation is tax deductible. If you follow that link on your screen, and it's also listed in the description of our video, you'll be able to make a one-time donation or a monthly donation if you feel good about that as well. Anything you can do is really appreciated. So thank you so much for stepping up and being a support to us and our community and our service to you and the greater world at large. If you're interested in membership, so this is the school we're talking about, the Bhava Spiritual Mission Ministry, go ahead and send me an email. If you're feeling like you want to step into this container, if you feel drawn to it, if you feel drawn to being of service, to finding your spiritual gifts and taking it out into the world, this might be a really good fit for you. Our community does have openings right now. And if you'd like to explore that, I want you to send me an email, ingrid@bhavamission.org. And finally, we have a new program that is super, super cool. It's our Bhava Sitters program. The link is in the description of this video. So what this means is we invite you to show up to our classes where we're learning how to do energy healing and psychic readings and channeling spirit and mediumship, and be a sitter for us. Be somebody who we can practice in your energy field and do readings and energy healings for you. These happen on Wednesdays, either at 10 a.m. or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can follow the link and see what time it is this Wednesday. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do know that we are going to be doing psychic readings this week, and we would really appreciate it if you wanted to show up and be a sitter for us. It's only $25 to show up and get a psychic reading from a kick butt psychic. Okay, these students blow my mind, right, Yvonne? Our students are just out of this world, and they need new energy to practice on and practice with. So it's like beauty school rates, man, to show up and get a reading and give a little feedback, and like you're golden. So
can I sell that a little bit too?
Yeah, sell it, baby.
The thing I have to tell you as someone who's, I've only been doing this for 3 years now. The value for showing up as a sitter is phenomenal. You're not just getting one person reading for you, you're usually getting 5. It's a beautiful transparency overlay of information. And I don't think we've had anybody who didn't walk away in tears and mind blown. So please take advantage of the Sitters program. It will blow your mind and give you information and juicy gorgeousness that you might not find any other way.
Yep. It's a groovy program. It's brand new.
It is so good.
Yeah. And, there's limited space. So jump on it quickly. So that's what we got. Thank you so much. Anything you want to add, Yvonne, before we go ahead and wrap us up with our beautiful
No, I'm just thrilled that we get to do this. I'm thrilled that we get to do this as our quote unquote work. And
me too.
I'm very thankful to Divine Spirit for this container, for this platform. And I hope you all out there are very, very much enjoy what we do, because we do it with a great deal of passion and heart. And absolutely, we do it out of love for you, for the world, and to help us all rise to our highest potential, to get out of our own way by any means necessary, so we can live in full presence with spirit. And I thank you, Ingrid.
Thank you, Yvonne. I love you so
I love you.
much. I bet everybody loves you. It's juicy. Juicy
Mwah.
is a Bhava word.
It is.
Well, thank you all so much. Please stick around, listen to this song. It's a powerful song written for the Bhava Spiritual Mission by an incredible musician and one of our church attendees, Robin Harp. So thank you for giving him a few moments to listen. And I hope this really sinks in because it really does embody who we are and what we're about in our energy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you, Ingrid. Bye.
Bhava means love. It's what we use to rise above the illusions of life are overcome by our life. Bhava means love. Spirits are awake again. When we all leave here today, we get to feel more enlightened. Yeah, yeah. Bhava means love. It's what we use to rise above the illusions of life. We overcome with our light. Bhava means love. Our love is Bhava. Our love is Bhava. Means love.